Feast your eyes on the newest member to the channel, a basket case. Basket case. John Deere without the hood, and I happen to know it is an STX38 gear tractor. For those that are not familiar with the STX, it's one of the lower tiers, kind of stored big box store style, and this one has the black deck. I think the more desirable is the yellow deck, known for better quality. I don't know if that means it's just a newer year, older model, or if there was two variations in quality during any given year. Supposedly this one just needs carburetor work. Well, we see carburetors off, all kinds of stuff taken apart, stuff missing off the front. I've got some of the, there's the front air deflector for the engine. Here's another piece. Bag O parts. Got more down here. So it's obviously the seat's pretty much chowdered. Both tires, back tires, leak. The right one has a tube in it already and it's still leaking. Not a lot here. But let's just go through it and see if there's anything here worth saving. It's a low dollar tractor finished, so will it be worth it? We will find out. Somebody at least tried to store it correctly. They put a bag in there, but boy, she's crusty. She's been sitting. That's got corrosion pretty bad inside that intake manifold, so I'll probably have to try to scrape, vacuum, don't know. I want to get that crud out of there. I see like a little extension cord wire. Oh, that's not on anything. I don't know what they were doing with that. Maybe they were trying to do what I'm doing with my bungee cord and holding those up so I could put it up on the trailer here. I noticed things like the fuel filters on backwards. And also they've been excavating farther than you would have had to for just taking out the carburetor, because they've got things like this bracket, which goes up here with the and like the regulator, the charging thing. All that's been taken off. So I think somebody, Johnny Fix-It's, been in there farther than just the carburetor were required. So I'm a little suspicious on condition overall. Now, of course, they took out the battery because that's what everybody does. And the engine is stopping there. And stopping there. How much rotation is that? I'm going to put my thumb at the front. From here to here, it stopped. So it goes 3/4 of a rotation and then stops. That's quite interesting. So yeah, that would probably be them taking this off then, and that's why they took the extra stuff off here that they didn't have to, because probably they knew there was some issue inside the engine. Now, could it be a really rusty magnet and it's hitting the coil as it comes around? Could we get that lucky? I don't know. I just know it's been sitting a long time. I don't know if you could see this powdery, crusty stuff, but that's all come out of the intake as I was trying to, it was puffing in and out. So a little moisture might have got in there, I don't know. Whoa! Kick ya! How'd that feel? That one's already out or broken off. Oh, this has been sitting a very long time. So that rust. What I'm wondering is that hitting the coil there? No, that's not what's hitting. Ooh. Oh, I just got it to go around. Okay. There might have been a little something. Again, I see a couple puffs of stuff coming in and out. There might have been just a little bit of rust on the top of that cylinder. It's been sitting a long time. You can see this ring gear and the magnets. Everything's been sitting out. These, if you didn't know why I said the hood is gone, well, these all broke. Every hood that was ever made on these broke because it was just this thin plastic, and the way it cantilevers on that mounting assembly, they just built them as cheap as it can be. And then what happens is, then they sit out. They sit in the open weather because people don't have a shed or whatever, and they get rusty and things like this happen. So okay, could be just carburetor stuff then. You just don't know when you get something. I'm pulling some junk out of there too. There's some more down in there. Some of this, I don't know what that is. Sometimes if stuff sits, it'll get a little rusty like that, so I'm not concerned. I just thought maybe this was so rusty it was either stuck to or touching the coil, but that doesn't look like the case at all. Good. I guess what I really should have started with is things like checking the oil. Oil looks medium color and plenty of it. Double check it. A little overfull maybe. Fuel empty as expected because the fuel line's open and that end is open, so we're okay there. Another indication of how long this has been out is these clamps are all rusty. Oh, don't you have any heavy in the shutter? These clamps are all rusty here. So okay, I'm okay to reassemble this. I just took and just cleaned that up just a hair with a wire brush. Actually, on second thought, because that cover does cover some of the areas I'm going to be needing to work and putting this stuff back together and playing with the carburetor and the linkage and everything, I'm going to leave that cover off for just right now, just to get at what I need to get at. And let's see what we have. Let's see if the carburetor is, looked like the carburetor was in the bag. Is it in pieces? Is it broken? Is it all ruined? Let's go through that next. I just want to see, do we have a viable engine here? And then if we have a good engine, then we'll see, do we have a good transmission? Do we have the deck working? No reason to go anywhere without an engine. All right, here's the parts that came in the bag. It even came with a free shop towel. All right, these people are great. Air cleaner nut, recognize that. Mangled whatever nut. Broken piece of plastic. Here's one of the linkage arm grabbers for the carburetor. 2 matching big nuts. I don't know, what is this? For the blade deck or something? This must be for these. Okay. Don't recognize that piece just off the bat. These are probably carburetor mounting. These little ones are probably more the tins on the sides, and then these washers probably went with this. Okay. It's kind of like a puzzle whenever you get a machine you know nothing about. No, that one doesn't even fit there. Odd. Okay, so we have a carburetor. So let me just open this up and see, does it look just terrible? It's a Walbro. That's usually a good one. Let's just see what it looks like and why they might have removed it. What is this? 15/32. I never even heard of it. ½ inch is what I wanted. Oh, that was loose. I guess I could have just turned it out. I didn't know that. Oh. Okay. they have stripped that carburetor out fully. Those threads are ruined. That's why. Yeah, look at that. All the metal is wrapped around the threads here. She gone. Oh, but don't worry, they got tape to fix that. Oh no, they broke out the side. That's what happened. Okay. Yeah, they broke out the side. They were trying to wrench that in there super hard. Something must have been stuck beyond comprehension. Okay, no sense going any further here. We need a carburetor. There's nothing that can be done, nor would I. Before I go spending even a few dollars on parts, let me try to get into this carburetor, or get into this intake and get some of that junk out of there first. What I want to do is spray some starting fluid or fuel source in there and just see, do we get it to pop off a little bit? And that would make me feel better about the internals of that engine being in more reasonable shape. Do you see that puff? That's just white corrosion coming off that aluminum. It's been sitting quite a while. I just don't want those little particles to get in the rings and everything. I'm going to blow that out a little bit, bring it back. All right. All right, let me try turning this over first. I got a jump pack on it, booster pack. Well, the starter thing just flew clean off of the engine, the little cone. The key switch sticks if I don't put it back to neutral by myself, so that'll need some lubricant or replacement. Okay, so the engine spins. Let's just see if we can get it to pop off at all by giving it some fuel. And this spray can is probably the worst I've ever seen. I saw it try there for a second. I got to get a better can. That one's not really spraying it into the intake, it's spraying it at it. Where's that can I had yesterday? Not a big fan, but this is real starting fluid because I'm out of regular carb cleaner. I think this stuff's a little harsh. That's why I use regular carb cleaner normally. I wouldn't say it's really firing, but it's doing something. That was a fire. I cannot reach across the tractor and still turn the key while spraying. Yeah, it's trying to start. Yep. Okay. That's all I wanted to know. Do we have a viable candidate here? And we do. So now we can justify getting a carburetor for it. Working carburetor. All right. And as I'm finding stuff, I'm showing you. So this was in that bag. That's part of this. I'm going to call this a heat shield spacer. The good news is the good part of the spacer is still there. And the part that broke off is the part that just must guide the, I'm assuming, air away from the carburetor, hot air. So not the worst thing that could have ever happened there. So as always, going to be waiting for parts. Didn't even order them yet, but I'm just putting stuff together. No, that's not how that goes. we'll just put stuff like that back on. That doesn't have to come off for any reason. All right. Oh, so that was the bottom part that broke off. Okay. This has a screw that goes in there. This rod should be on the outside of this. There we go. Okay. And then the shortest screw we could find is that guy. And is it a 5/16? It is. Just put some of this stuff back so that I don't have so much to go later. Looks like something can go into that. Okay. What about these other two? Oh, somebody ripped this hose off. I see it. They broke the hose. The clamp is here. And it's got a little piece of hose that they broke off. That's the crankcase ventilation system. So we'll have to get that. All right, we're in good shape generally. Let me try to find those front housings and let's get all this fitted back up. Just get as far as we can. Now, I got several pieces. I got 1, I got 2, and I got 3. Now, 1 and 2 are very different pieces. This has got to be the front of the engine somehow. I have to figure out the rotation. That's going to be probably the easiest part of this equation. The one I don't understand where it goes is this one. Don't understand yet. We will get there. Let me arrange some puzzle pieces and I'll bring you back. My puzzle is coming together nicely. This piece here goes on the outside of the engine, I found out. That piece goes there, curves underneath, not up, because it will go both ways. Everything's looking good until you realize we've still got a piece. And what's interesting is it has dirt on this side, which would be the unwashed side, or the internal maybe. But so far, I can't figure it out. Maybe something with this. No. Okay. This spacing, I recognize as this spacing. This thing's all mangled, but I think we can bend it back. Maybe this knob didn't come off properly. I think they were just taking apart whatever. They didn't know how. Okay. So that's 2 of those little self-tapping screws, and I could get the filter back on, but then that still leaves this. I do not understand. Around the back side here, the only thing I could see like this is this one, which has a cut open piece. And also there's a cut open piece here. So is this some kind of, and that just shields whatever, the heat from the engine from coming back to the operator. So is this, they wouldn't cover over your air filter, would they? There's a bracket here that's a ground. I have no idea. I feel like a kindergartner trying to figure out shapes. You know, the square block won't fit in the hole. Yeah. I have temporarily suspended the search for whatever this is. That little loop would make me think wire for spark. I can't imagine what that would do on the front of the engine. And I also noticed this. So we know that's the air filter box. We know the post goes in there, that's all mangled. But I also noticed the filter's all mangled. So something fell on this. So maybe that's what got the whole situation started. Something damaged this. And not to get sidetracked, let's get some more of this stuff put back. Okay, that had just a clip. I don't have that bolt for that one right now. I got this. Okay. What size socket are you? That size. Good, good. And while I'm at it, I'm going to just change this filter around to the correct way. Nah, better yet, I'm going to put a brand new one because now the stuff is probably caught on the wrong side of it. And if I start flowing fuel out, it will put all the contaminants into the engine, into my carburetor. All right. And in the theme of unrigging things, I have switched everything around. We're doing fuel shutoff first, then filter, so you can actually change your filter without spilling. How nice would that be? Well, pretty nice, because the people that had it before didn't know to do that. But they would have been glad if they did. Usually the flow is marked on here. It is. But also, any fat little ridge should go towards the engine. That's pretty much standard on all filters that I've seen. Filters and screens. That's about as far as I can get it. All right, now we can shut it off, change the filter, put it back, then open it. That's the way it should be. Just going to do a little bending and reconditioning on this piece just so I can get it back on there. All this does is hold down the air filter, so it's not got to be deadly accurate. It's just got to fit in there. And that almost could do it as is, but there's more bending to do. But I'm going to recondition that. Looks like those two screws that came in the bag are the right ones, so we'll just put it right back in there. Got it reasonably straighter. Those aren't the easiest to start screws, apparently. Yeah. Give it a little. I might need to straighten that a little more because I don't think it's going off at a little angle there, and it's got to make it through the center hole that I filter. So I'll do that off camera, and we'll have an air box ready to filter again once I get a filter. So this key, when I went to start it, was staying in the start position. Yeah, it's supposed to be spring return to that position. So let's just give that a little lube. I think that's all it'll take. If not, I need to know that now before I order parts for the rest of the machine. Yeah, it's just not spring returning. Oh, are we winning? Yes, we're going to win. Certain amount of rust down in there, I think. Oh yeah, got some junk out of there, some rust. Probably it's going to be okay. But it has to return or else you'll grind up your starter gear. It has to return every time without nursing it. Okay, I'll work on that a little bit, bring you back if I get it. I think we've got a winner. Yeah. Let's get a quick look at this 38 deck. Now what I'm seeing is nice, strong things, no broken welds. The belt was sitting, again, for a long time. We could see the rust in there. These both turn. That turns. No holes. It's actually in pretty good shape. I just broke my tripod top right off. Not cool. Okay, now I got a little selfie stick, I guess. Bottom blades. Ooh, very dangerous. No good. One sort of good. Been ground down quite a few times. So we'll have to do that. See how the spindles are. The spindle bearings are good. Okay, so except for this one sitting for a very long time, that's going to go again. Well, I'll put all our parts back in the bag. I still don't understand what that is. Hopefully it's for this. Maybe it's for something else that they had. I don't know. I've got that carburetor linkage thing. I don't know if that comes with the new carb. Other than that, we got a piece of machinery here that looks runnable to all indicators right now. As long as that transaxle runs right, I think we're going to be okay. We got a belt for that. It only uses the one belt for both the blades and for going to the engine. And the transmission, I didn't check that belt yet, but they don't take a big beating, so I'm not anticipating big troubles, but I'll look at it before I put the deck back on. Okay, got the carburetor. See if we can make a home for it here. Got a couple gaskets. And the carb. Question is, so I took this piece off the old one because that was in the bag that came with the parts. I don't think that's going to be necessary. Or actually, yes, maybe it will. The size of the hole will dictate. Interesting. It goes in there, but doesn't turn. But if you had it like that, that would be like sloppy, like terrible. That's not cool. Let me look at the old carb and we'll see what's going on. Okay. This one had its own thing in there. That piece there came from something, but not this hole in the carburetor. Okay. Got the little bushing. That's more like it. Now, what gasket is it going to want to have? I think probably this one. Yep. And then, wait a minute. Where does that go to? Oh, right on. I think I got these reversed. This was never supposed to go there. This should be throttle. This should be choke. Ah, that's where the thing goes. In that piece. Okay. See, when you don't take it apart yourself, you just don't know. It's the top of this rod, if you can't see from where you're at there. Has a hole in it for this. Okay. This is choke. I was hooking these up backwards. in the hole. Nope, I got that thing on wrong. Does it come around from the back? Maybe it goes in from the back. That should snap down on that rod. There it goes. Yes. Now when I go choke, yep, I'm getting full choke. Good. That's half the battle. Put this on before we forget it. We don't want to suck in unfiltered air. I've got a nice new breather hose here. I was half tempted to try to make something work with fuel hose, but to have the pre-bends put in it, yeah, it's worth a couple bucks to not have to fight it. And that's about how it goes, because the piece in the end was off of there. So oh yeah, that thing was completely pooched. Dry rot, terrible. I'm guessing something about like that. We can adjust it. Come on. Whoa. And I never saw it again. Bring it back. Ha. I got a backups for my backups. Okay, gasket's already on. Flange is clean. Guess I could have put that so I can actually get a hold of it. There we go. Oh, actually, yeah, that's okay. I'm going to put a brand new piece here. This stuff's kind of hardened up here. And it's not quite reaching the way it comes across here. I don't like it. So we will just change this end piece. Put that hose on. Nice new fuel line there. Get that on just a little more. Happy with that. There's that side. Now let's figure out how long we want it. It's kind of stupid. Have it right there, but whatever. It is the length it is. Doesn't seem like it wants to go in easy. No sense breaking the filter. Now she goes. Yeah, I don't know how that's supposed to. Whoever put the clamp didn't think about. There we go. That's good there. Okay. Before we get ahead of ourselves, let's torque that carb down. We got a nice, good flow down there. Gravity, no big loops like some people tend to put. That's going to be 10 mil. Good. Both move. Nothing pinched. New air filter. These threads are a little buggered, but I think they'll go. Cinch that down. Good. Where's that lid? There. Ooh, that's been out in the sun for a while, hasn't it? There we go. There's this little ridge that fits in a groove there. And to make it watertight, you want to get that. Because with no hood, it doesn't have a prayer if it's not closed up right. And that box is basically, yeah, a little bit tweaked. A little bit tweaked. Okay. Good though. We're getting there. We got a much more complete unit than we started with. Can't remember if I looked what kind of spark plug we had in there. I think we probably took it out at one point. I worked on multiple machines at a time, so to come back to them and really remember everything, it's not going to really happen. Oh, a very old plug, very old. Put a brand new Champion in there. Give me my socket. Got it. I will admit my jumper pack I have it hooked up to. Oh, turn the fuel on. I will admit my jumper pack is 3/4 dead right now. I do have another one, but let's just see what this one will do. Let me give just a minute for that carburetor to fill. And we got a leak. Fuel leak. On their side of the, I'm going to call it theirs, the not new side. Not cool. All right, now, without the fuel leak, let's give it a try. Neutral, PTO off, and I think my jumper pack is not connected good. Well, that didn't sound good. That was the throttle cable thing. Go for choke again. I guess I'm gonna have to get the better jumper pack. Better jumper pack, it's engaged. Try no choke. Ooh, I think it fired a little bit there. I got full choke, or full throttle, no choke. Something's going on with the safety switch. I can't tell if it's the safety switch on the seat that's killing it, or the pedal seemed to also kill it, which it shouldn't, as long as the PTO is not on, and as long as it's not in gear. Yeah, the seat switch. Okay, I can see a couple things. This throttle cable is terribly misadjusted, because when I've got this thing there, the choke is already coming on, and the choke isn't supposed to come on until I get up to here, full choke. So somebody's been playing with this adjustment. Okay, get that fuel hose out of the way again. Somebody's got this thing way misadjusted. So when I went for full throttle, I was getting choke and everything. And I do hear quite a bit of rattling. So I'm pretty sure we're going to have to adjust the valves on this, because it sounds to me like excessive play in the valve. One or both. I'm going to adjust the throttle as follows. I'm going to take it, put the control at the top to full choke. Here I should get full choke. And then the bottom side, we don't worry as much. We'll adjust that with the idle speed. I just need to see why in the world. Okay, there's full choke. So I'm just pulling it up until that thing's as far as it wants to go. Now let's see. When I go, okay, yeah, I got full speed. I shouldn't see this move until I get to the notch. I'm at the notch, and I'm getting full engagement, full choke. If you don't get full choke, you will question your life's choices, because it won't start well, and it'll seem like a real piece of junk. Also, if it's running with the choke on when you're looking for full throttle, same scenario. Gotcha on the front of the engine there. This is the valve cover. And as you can see, it comes off so easy. And if you even think you have a tick, you probably should be in here checking it out, because nothing good's going to happen of a slapping valve. Nothing good will come of it, shall I say. Brand new hose, just put it on. Oh, somebody's got some sealant on it. Yeah, I can see it squirting out. Maybe I spoke too soon. Oh, I think I did. Wow. What did they use? That's incredible. Actually, I think I want to know what it is, because I want to get some. You don't even need bolts anymore. Well, just so I can be careful and not try to hurry, I'll bring it back. Got it. I was pulling on here and pushing on there. Oh, look at that oil. Is that black? Oh, and there's a lot of it. Okay. Using that as a drain pan. That could be another problem. Just whatever's oil in there could be terribly thinned out. Yeah, we made a little spill here. That's okay. Let's see. So the engine's warm right now, so that may or may not affect your clearances much. That one going. The other one going. Actually, I don't think there's much of a gap there at all. I was thinking they were too tall. Might be too short. I just went to check some clearances, and I was doing it, and it seemed like it was, I got 6. This one I don't really have any. But here's what's interesting. Are those hydraulic lifters in this engine? I think those are hydraulic lifters in this engine. Or there's something here I'm not seeing. Because that one moves a little. This one moves a crazy ton. Now I've got to go look this up. Yep, they're hydraulic. So I am now the second person that has been in this engine, or more, because second I say because this is not factory, that has tried to adjust the valves, and they are non-adjustable. They are hydraulic. They are self-adjusting. Only thing I'm going to do, though, I'm just going to double check these to make sure those are tight. And that's it. It's nothing that can be done. Nothing that should be done. Let's get this oil off of here. I already got the gasket material off. Okay, note to self and others. Don't bother taking the valve covers off an STX38 Kohler 12.5. They are not adjustable. Recovered, resealed, good to go. Now I'm just going to run this thing a little bit, heat it up, and change the oil because it was over full and it's questionable oil. So I will do that. Will it drive? While I go to fire it up for our oil change, I haven't checked the transmission yet. Parking brake is on, or something. It doesn't have a parking brake. Oh yes, it does. Reverse works. Forward. Nice. But there is something going on with those safety switches, because when I get off that seat, that's not supposed to kill unless I have the PTO on. And before, the pedal was doing something weird, so we'll have to still look into that. But anyway, I'm going to run it for a little bit. We'll change that oil out of there. All right, at this point, I'm taking a look at the tires here. And what I see is we got the Z pattern, or whatever you want to call them, on all four sides. That's good. You know, it's not like a car where you have to match the tires, but it's kind of cool that they do. So here's what we got going on. Is dry cracking on the sidewalls. And let's try to get a good picture there. Some dry cracking. Yeah, you get some good view there. That's the kind of stuff. And this one here has like a big slash. This one's already been tubed. We could see the tube sticking out of there. The front ones seem to hold air. I might put some sealant in those just to make sure. I haven't had it long enough to really know if they're going to go down. But the plan for today is, if these two back ones will come off, I'm going to pull them, because sometimes they're stuck on the shafts and won't come off. But if they do, we're going to tube both of the back ones. That way we'll have matching tread all the way around, just kind of look cool, and save us money instead of buying two brand new tires, which would be a little over budget for this build. All right, let's see if we can get these caps to come off. Good. Pull these clips. Washer. Good. Will come off. And looking a little rusty around there. And being that I have a super safety jack that's almost falling out, I think we better reposition some stuff before we pry too hard. Yeah, who we fooling? That thing's going nowhere. Just for fun. Let's see if the other side wants to give up. My guess is this side might want to give up because if they got that tube in there before, they likely had this tire off. And I'm already seeing like some greasy stuff instead of rusty stuff, which does make a difference. I keep getting a hold of the washer and the clip. There we go. Come on. Clip's off. Working on the washer. Something's a little bent. Something just got a little more bent. But at the end of the day, I won that battle. Yeah. See, someone's had that one off. There's grease on there. Uh-huh. Let me guess why they didn't tube the left side. Because they couldn't get it off either. Just giving it a little heat on the inside, on the outside. Already did the outside, just doing the inside hub now. Seeing if we can get any change with temperature, change of clearances or break it loose. The answer would be no. Hasn't moved an inch. Well, I was heating up the inner and outer rim and hammering from the back, and suddenly I saw it move. And then I kept hammering, and that entire shaft has come out of the transmission. How is that possible? That's not supposed to happen. Oh no. Well, I am not going to exhaust all my tricks to try to get that shaft out of there. Let's assume that just a clip fell off that holds that thing. That would have been riding in. Or is that just hammered into a gear? Whatever. Let's just assume that's going to go back in. Now, can I, because I have this off the tractor now, can I get this bead to come off and maybe just from the one side fit that tube down in? That's the whole goal. I don't have to take the tire off, but it would be nice if it came off. Let's get that valve stem out of there. See if I can push this down. These are unusually wide. They stick way up from the rim. But I believe they're probably the originals because they're all form matching. Just seems like wider than what would have come on this. So what I'm saying is, will they pop off the rim easily because they are a wider tire? Probably on the limits of how wide you can go on this size rim. All right. That's what I was after. It's the valve core. Now the air, if I push down, will come out freely. Now you can see all those dry cracks showing up when the air's out of it. Oh yeah, she come right off. Beautiful. Almost fell over. It came off too easy. Or easier than I expected. Let's put it that way. Get that valve core, valve stem. Oh. Didn't exactly come out like one piece, so we went with the two-piece option. It's really best to get both sides off so you can drop it down in, but with one side we'll have to do it the best we can. And it's going to be a fight. I can see already. Valve stem already came out. Anyway, I just got to work that around. It's a lot of work. Well, I won't say it was easy, but I got that tube in there. Just a matter of shoving it all down in there. And I put this tool on here to hold it because that valve stem kept trying to creep inside and fall out, and I had to refish it several times. Let's air this up. I don't think we're up to the proper pressure yet. Why are you shutting off? Oh, this thing's spinning. Why didn't you tell me? See where we're at? She's seating nicely. About 9 pounds. Now, what a lot of times, because this outer carcass can still hold some air, a lot of air is going to try to escape through here. If it can't, it's going to have to get out wherever it can through any cracks. So you may have to re-top up a tube because it's full inside there, pushing air against the old carcass. This one doesn't look like it's holding any air because that's loose enough. Yeah, I got about 12 pounds. That's about where I run them. I've got the washer, the clip, and we might as well put the hubcap back on because that thing ain't going anywhere. Now for tire number 2. Now, the fact that it failed, they put a tube, failed again, makes me quite suspicious that there's something poking through this tire somewhere, and that something has poked a hole in the original tire and or dry rot, and then also poked a hole in the tube. So I would be taking a better look at this one than I was on the first one.